Hey everyone, how you doing out there on YouTube? This is Shafe coming at you with another video. It's a very interesting one. I hope you like it. I'm going to be talking about the biggest surprise players this year, in my opinion, in the Premier League. And the numbers and everything that I'm going to reference is strictly just from the domestic league, the Premier League. With that being said, like, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video. And let's get into it, huh? All right, so my first player that I have, it is a surprise in the sense that I think we all knew that he had talent, but the talent that he put on display this year is only going to be furthered along in his career. Like the things that he did this year, it's only going to get better, okay? Because he's on a team that they do have big money. They are going to bring in better players. He's young. He's only 21 or 22. Of course, I'm talking about Anthony Gordon. Okay, Anthony Gordon is 22 years old. This season in the Premier League, he had 11 goals and 10 assists. Good, very good numbers for a winger at 22 years old. He had 143 score-creating actions, which translates to 4.45 per 90. He was also first in the league in goal-scoring actions with 29, which is almost, for how many games he played, it's .90 per 90. So it's fantastic. But here's the real reason why I have him on here. Like I said, I think we all knew he has the talent. But the real reason I have him on here is because here's some of the players on his team and how many games they missed. Their main striker, Alexander Isak, missed 8 games. Miguel Almiron, the right winger, missed 5 games. Joelinton missed 18 games. The second striker, Callum Wilson, missed 18 games. So when I look at all the numbers, when I look at the breakdown, he's only 22. He's very young. He's very much in the. He's very much a real winger. Like he's not an inverted winger. He's a real winger. Okay. But when I look at all these numbers, a solid portion of the season, Gordon was the only attacking creative player that Newcastle had. And it was fantastic to watch him. But what is he going to do when he has a full healthy squad with Isak and Wilson and Tonali coming back and Joelinton? He's going to only get better. I don't think his numbers are going to be, 20-20 or anything like that. But I don't think it's crazy to think that he's going to be the type of player that ends every season at 15 goals, 15 assists. I think that's what's in store for him in the next years or so. Next player should be no surprise, in all honesty. It's Cole Palmer, 21 years old, 22 goals, 11 assists on the season, 162 score-creating actions. That's 5.5 per 90. Fantastic. And he was second in the league with 26 goal-creating actions, .90 per 90. So that's very great. The only thing that I'll say about Cole Palmer when it comes to the goals, the assist numbers, fantastic. The goal numbers are also fantastic. But Cole Palmer scored 9 penalties this year. I think it was either first or second in the league. Now, I'm not slating a player for taking penalties. And you know what? Cole Palmer's stone cold when he takes penalties. With that being said, that's that's half his goals. So half his goals come. Now, I'm not trying to slate the guy or anything. Nothing like that. But when we talk about proper wingers and proper goal scorers, penalties is a big part of it. I know that, but you also want to see your players getting goals in open play. And when half of your goals are coming from PK, that is a little bit something that we should look at. He has a very exciting future. Once he gets a full healthy squad and he has another, maybe if Nicholas Jackson can progress a little bit more, but once Chelsea become fully healthy and they fully, I mean, you see it toward the end of this year. They climbed their way to 6th somehow. But here's the real thing I want to say about Cole Palmer. He's a potential Ballon d'Or. He has the potential to be in the top 5 Ballon d'Or in the years to come. If he keeps putting up numbers like this and he gets a couple better players around him, it's not crazy to think that he can be putting up 25 and 20 a year. He could do it. So I'm very excited for him. The next I got is Ollie Watkins, and this is a true surprise of the year. He was the most creative striker in the league this year. Not in score creating actions and goal creating actions. He was. You wouldn't think that, but he was. A lot of that I attribute to Unai Emery. As soon as Unai Emery came in, you could see a giant change in this Villa team. But Ollie Watkins with 19 goals and 13 assists. Now, here's the big thing for me. Ollie Watkins is the main man on that team when it comes to goal scoring, but he also does not take penalty kicks. So Ollie Watkins got 19 goals from open play this year. Solid squad. I don't really think Aston Villa as a team is going to improve all that much because most of the players that are starting or even some of the players on the bench, most of them are in their mid to late 20s at this point. So you're going to see some progress just based upon them becoming more compatible with each other, of course. But none of them are really young enough to develop anything anymore. It's just they have what they have, and it's up to Unai Emery to bring it out of them. So, and he's done that in incredibly this year. But I do believe that this season right here is the best we're ever going to see out of Ollie Watkins. I think this season for him was fantastic, and I'm so happy for him, and I hope he gets paid even more money than he's getting paid now. Moving on. All right, so first, this isn't a surprise. I just want to give a shout-out to the absolute best midfielder in the league, and more than likely in the world, is Rodri. Just insane numbers. 8 goals, 9 assists from the defensive midfield point, 92% pass completion. He has an 85% long pass completion. Now, those are passes that are 30 meters or 30 yards or further. Okay, he has an 85%. The next highest midfielder in that regard is Bruno Fernandes, and he has over 100 passes less at 229, and his percentage is 53%. So just think about that for a second. Just ridiculous numbers. He has 157 score creating actions, which is 4.8 per 90, and he has 23 goal creating actions, which is 0.7 per 90. Just fantastic. Fantastic numbers. Absolutely fantastic. He took over for the lack of production from Gundogan in the midfield, absolutely. And he's still playing at a very high level in the DM position. So right now he's just the best midfielder in the world, period. He's only 27 years old. He's got at least 4 or 5 more years at this type of play, this type of level of play. It's very exciting. I'm very happy for him. I hate City, 115 charges, but it is what it is. Moving on, the next player I want to mention is a midfielder. My biggest surprise of all the midfielders, I think I'd have to say, is Alexis McAllister. Now, Alexis McAllister on Brighton was a holding midfielder and a creative playmaker. Flash forward to this year, and he comes to Liverpool, and he's their best defensive player besides Virgil van Dijk. Let's go over the numbers. So he has 5 goals, 5 assists. Good, decent numbers, okay. He 108 score creating actions for 3.7 per 90 and 12 goal scoring actions for 0.4 per 90, which is okay. But here's where it gets quite amazing. He has the 3rd most tackles in the league, and he has the 3rd most blocks in the league. That's not the Alexis McAllister I remember from Brighton, all right? He has an 86% pass completion. He was one of the most consistent players on Liverpool, if not the most consistent player on Liverpool. You knew exactly what you were going to get from Alexis McAllister. He played way more defensive this year for Liverpool. I guess that's what they asked from him, and he excelled at it. He really did. 3rd in the league in blocks and 3rd in tackles. Just fantastic. He did all that while still being a very, very good attacking and creative threat for Liverpool. So Liverpool lucky to have a player like him. He was a big surprise this year, mainly for his defensive efforts. With that being said, more power to him. If Liverpool with Arne Slot can figure out a way to get more out of him, I don't know how you could at this point, but more power to them. I do want to give a quick shout out to João Palhinha. The Fulham defensive midfielder. He's without a doubt the best defensive midfielder in the league. He's without a doubt the best one. He's not the best DM in the league, but defensively, he is the best defensive midfielder in the league. He is without a doubt the best. He is the top defensive midfielder in all metrics. I think the only one that he's not top in is like aerial, but everything else he's top. He's tops in everything. So I just want to give a quick shout out to him, give him some love. Moving on to a center back, I'm going to talk about the Brighton center back. It's like Jan-Paul van Hecke or something like that. 23 years old. He has 37 score creating actions, 1.4 per 90. Very good for a center back. He has a 92% pass completion and a 73% long pass completion. Again, that's 30 meters, 30 yards or further. And there's not too much more to say. There's really not too many young center backs in the league besides him and maybe Braithwaite, and you could say the young lad for Liverpool, but he wasn't for as many exciting things he did this year. He also did that many bad things as well. He's very good at keeping possession and recycling the ball, and to be honest, he's the perfect fit for Brighton, the Brighton system. Now, with De Zerbi gone, I'm not exactly sure how that system's going to move forward, but as it stands right now, he's been fantastic this year, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. My second midfielder that I got on this list, the most surprising, is Douglas Luiz. 26 years old, 9 goals, 5 assists, 86% pass completion. He had 117 score creating actions for 3.5 per 90 and 10 goal creating actions for 0.3 per 90. The reason I have him on this list, Douglas Luiz has always been, for the last 3 or 4 years, he's always been like the defensive midfielder for Villa. And he wasn't really asked to do much more besides, recycle the ball, play simple passes, and play solid defense. It wasn't until Unai Emery came where now Douglas Luiz is a ball-carrying, proper central midfielder. He's right now, you could say he's one of the best in the league, actually. He's probably one of the top 5 ball-carrying central midfielders in the league. His numbers show it. His goal-creating actions show it. His pass completion shows it. And here's the cool thing about it. Like I said earlier, Villa are probably at close to their best that they're going to be. But Douglas Luiz, the way that he plays the game, it's not exactly super physical. The way that he's playing the game, it's not crazy to think that he could play this way for 6-7 more years. I think Douglas Luiz is going to be a proper holding midfielder, a proper ball-carrying midfielder for the next 6-7 years for Villa. I really do. And he's played fantastic this year, and I'm happy for him. I really am. All right, we're going to move on to the goalkeeper. I only have one goalkeeper on this list. The reason I only have one goalkeeper on this list is because, all of them pretty much played the way that you would expect. And this goalkeeper played above what I expected in certain aspects, but below what I expected in other aspects. And this is, of course, Andre Onana, the goalkeeper for United. He's 28 years old. United brought in Onana because of the way that he can play the ball with his feet and the way that he can progress the ball. It's almost like having another center back out there. But flash forward throughout the whole season, United don't play that way. They don't play that type of football. And what was required out of Onana was to all of a sudden become a stopper, a goal stopper, in the sort of like what's his name? I can't remember his name, but a goal stopper. And that's not exactly what Onana is known for, and we've never really seen him play that way. However, this year, Onana had endured 203 shots on target against him. He only allowed 58 goals. It's 1.5 goals allowed per 90. He had 146 saves, which is the most in the league, and he had a 75% save rate percentage, which is also tops in the league. We got to see him play outstanding goalkeeper this year, while simultaneously playing poor this year. So it was kind of weird. Like, he wasn't brought in to do this type of work. He wasn't brought in to be like a De Gea type of goalkeeper, but that's what was needed this year, and he did it pretty well. He really did. Once Onana becomes partnered with competent defenders, because United's backline was a mess this year. Once he becomes partnered with competent defenders, he's with his knowledge now that he can be a goal stopper. I think Andre Onana is going to go on to be the best goalkeeper in the world. He knows that he's a shot stopper now, and he's very, very good at distribution. And once he's able to show both of them, he's going to be quite unstoppable back there. So very happy for him. He's got a bright future. If United were smart, they would hold on to him for the next 6-7 years and don't let him go, whatever you do. Last and least, I got 2 shout-outs I want to throw out there. I want to throw out there Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne only played 18 matches this year in league, only half the season basically. Kevin De Bruyne, if you just want to use on per 90 stats, Kevin De Bruyne was the best midfielder in the league. He had like 7.7 score creating actions per 90 this year. just unstoppable, an unstoppable midfielder, even in his older age. And the second one I want to throw out there is Michael Olise. Now, Michael Olise might be going to United. I'm not sure. I hope he does. With that being said, Michael Olise was also unstoppable this year, but he only played half the season. So some of that could change with another 18, 19 games. With that being said, though, Michael Olise ended the season with 10 goals and 6 assists in the league with only 19 matches. Michael Olise, if you look at the metrics, Michael Olise was in the 97th percentile in every attacking metric. With the one attacking metric that he's not is XG without penalties, which is in the 85th percentile. Okay, he played out of his mind this season, and if he's only 21 years old, if he continues to do this, he's going to be the best winger in the league. I don't think he's far from it now. I think maybe in a year or two, we might be seeing a winger who's putting up 25 goals and 15 assists. We're on our way to seeing that as it stands right now. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. Sorry it's a little bit longer today than normal, but, it is what it is. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. See you.